finally found the time to talk about this. Or rather, make time to talk about this. Link, click, Season 2. Let's talk about it. Seems the theme of tension and suspense continues onto this season. Hell, probably up the ante, if anything. Legit, the first couple of episodes had me utterly stressed, dog. So stressed. Especially with the suspicious shaved man. Even more so with what he said at the end of the second episode. Man was straight up about to do devious things to Xiaoling if he had his way of things. Absolutely wild line that caught me off guard, honestly. Thank God for the group of old masters coming in clutch to basically save the day. Also, nice impact frame with the master specifically. Anyways, episodes 4 and 5 were actually a pretty hard watch for me to get through. The domestic violence portrayed in said episodes felt very real, at least I think. Genuinely felt sorrow for the wife, daughter, and son. Genuine anger and frustration at the husband for not only his treatment of his own family, but even more so, his petty insecurity in believing the rumors that are being spread around about his wife supposedly cheating on him. That part particularly frustrated me. More so than anything about him. Just going off of the word of strangers. What a fucking idiot. Talk about insecurity of oneself to the highest degree. Anyways, the following episode, simply put, was an utter mindfuck. Admittedly, that is the whole season in general, but this was the first of many ahead that there was no way in hell that I could have predicted, even with my writer brain thinking all of the possible avenues the story could go down. From the 6th and onward, everything feels like so many things are happening simultaneously, nearly overwhelmingly sometimes, with the amount of information you have to take in order to keep up with the story. Episode 9, just an utter masterclass in visual storytelling. The black and white world that Jianji perceives when we look at his past and how he came to be the villain we see now. The cartoon world that I'd like to think is how Li Tianji sees the past and how she grew up post events seen in episodes 4 and 5 and the constant flashing back into events that are currently happening with Cheng controlling Lu's body to save himself from being abducted and Li Tianji running away from everything she's ever known, knowing what she's a part of is innately bad. While I'm terrible at explaining, this episode is a definitive masterclass nonetheless. The 11th though, that climax, that crescendo, whatever you want to call it, was fantastic. Dude, legit got flashbacks to Rico when that happened. Literally, my jaw properly dropped. Honestly, the 11th felt more like a finale than the 12th. Utter madness throughout this season, with twists and turns occurring what felt like seconds apart from one another. But the things I've learned and questions that remain are the following. So, no female is safe apparently in this show, or at least it felt that way throughout this season. Cheng still retains his title of Fumble King in my mind, and no one can challenge that throne of his as of now. Does Xiaoling powers now? With that visual cue and how she saw the totality of Li Tianji's past, it certainly seems like it. It could be a one-time thing, but the visual cue says otherwise. With the final scene, I think, revealing the fact that Lu has possession of Cheng's power for some time now, from an alternate timeline somewhere. I got to know, how many times has this man reset the timeline to keep Cheng alive? This show, man, so good and so frustrating, leaving me in a cliffhanger like that. Different from the cliffhanger of season 1, the type of cliffhanger, leaving with questions that could spiral downward further and further into the depths, whereas season 1's cliffhanger, more straightforward I think, when it comes to the questions it leaves one thinking about. Overall, narrative and character writing maintained the same level, if not heightened, in complexity with the introduction of other characters and other abilities not necessarily associated with time. Art and animation definitely stepped up from the previous season, most notably the fights and action scenes increased in the number of them, but also in the intricacy of each bout. Favorite fights were either in the second or in the 12th. I'd lean towards the 12th. Also, not afraid to change the art style in its entirety if it is used for narrative reasons, like within the 9th. Quite like that bit. Also, Xiaoling is best girl. Rating the second season of Link Click, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. I don't think I enjoyed it significantly more than the first season, but if I had to choose with my life on the line, I'd probably say the second season is better, by a hair's breadth at most though. Just preferred the more centralized plotline over the more anthology-style narrative that the first season did. While no single episode stood out to me as a favorite, I don't think there was any point in time either where I didn't feel some sort of strong emotion. Whether it be the constant stress and anxiety, sadness and sorrow, anger and frustration, emotions were relentlessly running high. Not a lull too long or too short. Just the right amount of time in my mind for each emotion to transition seamlessly to the next and so on. Things of note. Now I have to find time to write about the Brighton arc, sooner rather than later, hopefully. Also, need to figure out what anime to watch next. Now, actually, instead of relying on the lucky happenstance that was Link Click, desperate to illustrate, need time, and at this point, courage even to start. Art and illustration helps my sanity more than anything else. We'll figure it out. Figure out sometime. I don't know, man. I just know one thing. Must figure out. Anyways, gonna use the bathroom, drink water, brush teeth, and go to sleep whilst the brat Otonoze Kanare, aka Monday-chan, plays Alive Dreams. Mata ne. This journal entry was written on July 23rd, 3 a.m.
Hey, BD,